Dear students, good morning to one and all. In this first year, already completed the first unit, that is named Diversity in the Living World. In this unit containing 4 chapters. The first chapter, the living world. The second chapter, biological classification. The third chapter, science of plants, botany. The fourth chapter, plant kingdom. Dear students, now today we are going to discuss about the second unit, that is structural organization in plants, morphology. In this unit only containing one chapter, that is chapter 5, that is named morphology of flowering plants. Dear students, what is the meaning of morphology? It deals with the study and description of organs of plants, that is called morphology. It deals with the study and description of organ of plants, that is called morphology. So in this morphology to be fundamental requisite for classification, in this morphology can be divided into 2 branches. They are namely, first one external morphology, second one internal morphology. What is meaning of external morphology and what is meaning of internal morphology? Now let us discuss about the external morphology. By means it deals with the study and description of external characters of plant organs like root, shoot or stem, leaf, flowers and also fruits. That is called external morphology. Okay, now it deals with the study and description of external characters of plant organs like root, stem, leaves, buds, flowers and fruits. That is called external morphology. Next we are going to internal morphology. By means it deals with the study and description of internal structures of plant organs. That is internal structure of root, internal structure of stem, internal structure of leaf and internal structure of flower. That is called internal morphology. So in this internal morphology can be divided into 2 branches. They are namely, first one histology, second one anatomy. Okay now, what is meaning of histology? So it deals with the study of different types of tissues in their plant body, that is called histology. In generally, a typical plant body is made up of more than 2 cells. In these 2 cells or more than cells to be form one group, that is named tissue. A group of cells are named as tissues. So here in different types of tissues are present in their plant body, that is called histology. What are the different types of tissues? That is parenchyma tissue, collenchyma tissue, sclerenchyma tissue as well as meristematic tissues. Overall meristematic tissue, simple tissue, complex tissue and vascular tissues. These are the different types of tissues. Different types of tissues are present in the plant body, that is called histology. Second one here, anatomy. So what is the meaning of anatomy? The study of gross internal structure of, the study of gross internal structure of, the study of gross internal structure of, or transverse section of, or longitudinal section of root, stem, leaf, flower. That is called anatomy. Anatomy of root, anatomy of stem, anatomy of leaf, anatomy of a flower, anatomy of flower. That is TS of root, TS of stem, TS of leaf. TS means transverse section. Transverse section of root, transverse section of stem, transverse section of leaf. Overall, all are anatomical parts. So these are two types of two branches are in morphology. Okay, now that is external morphology and internal morphology. So, but clearly detailed discussed about the external morphology. Next, coming to who is father of botany and who is father of morphology, that is credit goes to Theophrastus. Theophrastus. Dear students, Theophrastus is regarded as a father of botany and also he is regarded as a father of morphology. Why? Because Theophrastus described 500 kinds of plants, external and internal morphological characters. So that is credit goes to father of botany. How many plants to be observed? So nearly 500 kinds of plants. Totally 500 kinds of plants, external morphological characters and internal morphological characters totally to be described about the Theophrastus. Not only 2 or 3 plants of external characters and internal characters, totally described about the 500 kinds of plants, external characters and internal characters. Then after he wrote 2 books. The 2 books are namely, one is De Historia Plantarum or Enquiry into Plants. Second book, Causae Plantarum or On the Causes of Plants. Theophrastus is regarded as a father of botany and he is regarded as a father of morphology. Why? Because he described about the 500 kinds of plants, external morphological characters and internal morphological characters. Then after he wrote 2 books. The first book named De Historia Plantarum or Enquiry into Plants. The second book named Causae Plantarum or On the Causes of Plants. Dear students, don't confuse here. Aristotle is regarded as a father of biology. In this biology can be divided into mainly 2 branches, that is one branch botany and second branch zoology. So the study of plants, that is called botany, the study of animals, that is called zoology. So father of botany Theophrastus and father of zoology Aristotle. So dear students, Aristotle is regarded as a father of biology as well as father of zoology, but Theophrastus is regarded as a father of botany. So Theophrastus is one of the ancient Greek philosopher. So in their Plato school was successfully successor of Aristotle, and wrote 2 books, that is De Historia Plantarum and Causae Plantarum. Okay, no. So Theophrastus is one of the ancient Greek philosopher and was regarded in a Plato school, was successfully successor to Aristotle, successor to Aristotle. Okay now. Next coming to types of root systems. Types of root systems. Dear students, this is a one typical angiospermic plant. This is a one typical angiospermic plant. In generally, the plant body consists of mainly two parts. So first part are here root system. Second part are here shoot system. This is a root system. This is a shoot system. So in this root system consists of primary root and lateral roots, that is secondary root and tertiary roots. So this is a root system and this is a shoot system. So in this shoot system consists of stem, leaf, buds and flowers. Buds and flowers. Okay now. In generally a typical higher plants of the plant body consist of mainly in two parts. They are namely first part root system, second part shoot system. So in this root system again consists of primary root and lateral roots. So in this lateral roots includes secondary root and tertiary roots. Next coming to second part shoot system consisting of stem, leaf or leaves, bud or buds and flowers as well as fruits. So seeds are enclosed in fruits. These are two parts in higher plants of plant body. So but here in generally the root source is always phototropism and the stem source is always geotropism. Geotropism. Okay now. Generally the root system is always shows or grows in phototropism, while the stem shows or shoot system shows is always geotropism. What is meaning of phototropism and what is meaning of geotropism? Phototropism means in generally the plant body of root is always, so in their plant body, so generally the root shows geotropism and the stem shows phototropism. The stem shows phototropism, geotropism and phototropism. So smaller terms are here geotropism and another one here phototropism. Geotropism and phototropism. So what is the meaning of geotropism and what is the meaning of phototropism? Generally the root system shows always geotropism, while the shoot system mainly stem shows in phototropism. So what is the meaning of geotropism and what is the meaning of phototropism? Geotropism means the root is always depend upon to the gravity force. The root system grows is always depend upon to the gravity force, not depend upon to the sunlight. That is called geotropism. So phototropism, the shoot system or stem source is always directly depend upon to the sunlight. That is called phototropism. By means the root system is always grows gravity force. The shoot system is always grows sunlight. That is phototropism and geotropism. Okay now. So the root system is always underground part of the plant body, and remaining some of the portion is always above the ground. That is called shoot system. By means shoot system is always grown to be aerially, and the root system is always grown in the underground. The underground part, that is root system. The aerial part, that is shoot system. Root system can be presence of geotropism. Shoot system can be presence of phototropism. Next, root system is always grown underground. Shoot system is always grown aerial. That means above the ground part. Above the ground part. That is aerial. That is aerial. This is a one typical higher plant or one typical weed plant. One typical weed plant. So in this a typical weed plant consisting of root system and consisting of shoot system, and the shoot system to be consisting of stem. Okay now. Next one, petal, node, internode, leaf, axillary bud, apical bud, and flowers. So dear students, this is a root system, that is primary root, and these are lateral roots including secondary root and tertiary root. This is a stem. So stem is always light green in color. Root system is always brown in color. Not containing nodes and internodes, not presence of the buds and leaves. This is a root system. Root system generally grown for the soil, is always absorption of the water and mineral nutrients. So this root system is always brown in color. Why? Because not presence of the sunlight and not having two nodes and internodes and not having two buds and leaves. And this is a stem. Stem is always brown in color and light green in color. And this is a petal. This is a leaf. And leaf is always based on petal. Petal is base of the leaf. Petal is base of the leaf. So these are nodes and internodes. This is a node and this is a internode. Two nodes between the internode. So every leaves, every buds, every flowers will be developed node of the stem, not internode of the stem. Only developed node of the stem. Two nodes between of the one internode. And this is a leaf. Leaf is always carry out photosynthesis. Why? Because in those of leaves containing some amount of the chloroplast. This is a axillary bud. This is a apical bud. Axillary bud, some of the buds are developed. Petal of the leaf, some of the buds are developed. Petal of the leaf, that is named axillary bud. Apical bud, some of the buds are developed. Terminal part of the stem. That is apical bud. These are flowers. After reproduction, flowers would be developed roots. In these roots to be containing seeds. Okay now. Next, coming to types of root systems. So three types of root systems are here. First one, tap root system. Second one, fibrous root system. Third one, advantageous root system. Okay now. Types of root systems are of three types mainly. First one, tap root system. Second one, fibrous root system. Third one, advantageous root system. So discuss about the one by one. So tap root system, fibrous root system, and advantageous root system. So dear students, this is a tap root system. This is a fibrous root system. This is a advantageous root system. So dear students, in majority of dicotyledons, the direct elongation of the radical leads to the formation of primary roots grows into the soil. Then after to be developed in order of several lateral roots, that is secondary roots and tertiary roots. In this primary root and branches constitute, that is secondary root and tertiary root, to be form a one tap root system. That is called tap root system. Okay now, tap root system are seen in majority of dicotyledon plants. So in majority of dicotyledon means, so the embryo containing two cotyledons, that is dicotyledon. The embryo seeds containing two cotyledons, that is dicotyledon. The embryo seeds containing only one cotyledon, that is monocotyledon. These are classes in angiosperms. In most of the higher plants such as angiosperms and gymnosperms. But here in angiosperms is further divided into two classes. Okay, now they are namely first class dicotyledonous, second class monocotyledons. What is meaning of dicotyledons? The embryo seeds containing two cotyledons. That is called dicotyledons. Monocotyledons, the embryo seed containing only one cotyledon or single cotyledon, that is called monocotyledon. So in dicotyledon, especially banyan tree and bean tree, neem tree, and monocotyledons such as rice, maize, sugarcane. Some of the examples for monocotyledons. Okay, now, so in majority of dicotyledons, the direct elongation of the radicle leads to the formation of primary root. This is a primary root which grows into the soil. So in generally the embryo seed containing two cotyledons. So in this cotyledons of embryo axis are developed in two parts. One is radicle, second one is plumule. Radicle to the formation of root system, plumule to the formation of shoot system. Root system are developed from radicle, shoot system are developed from plumule. Okay, now the mature seed of embryo in their embryonal axis to be erased, radicle and plumule. Radicle is always grown for the soil, plumule is always grown for the above the soil. Plumule is aerial part, radicle is underground part. So this radicle is always developed to be root system, this plumule is always developed to be shoot system. Okay, now, so this is a radicle, this is a plumule. So plumule to be developed shoot system, radicle to be developed root system. So in generally, in majority of dicotyledons, the radicle leads to the formation of primary root which grows into the soil. Then after, so lateral roots, that is secondary root and tertiary roots are developed in several orders. Finally, the primary root and lateral branches, that is secondary root and tertiary root, both are constituted to be form of one primary root, taproot system. Okay, now in this taproot system, including primary root and secondary root, tertiary root, that is taproot system. Okay, now taproot system mainly are seen in dicotyledon plants. In majority of dicotyledons plants, the radicle leads to the formation of primary root which grows into the soil. Then after, so it branches to be developed to several orders, that is lateral branches of secondary root and tertiary root. Finally, the primary root and its branches constitute within the form of taproot system. This is a taproot system. This is a primary root. This is a secondary root. These are tertiary roots. Next, coming to fibrous root system. Fibrous root system are seen in monocotyledon plants. Dear students, so in this fibrous root system are seen in monocotyledon plants, especially maize and sugarcane as well as rice. So in this fibrous root system, the primary root is short-lived. So this is a primary root in dicotyledons, but in monocotyledons the primary root is short-lived. That means the primary root is temporary. and is replaced by number of large roots, and is replaced by number of larger roots. These larger roots to be appeared air-like structure or fibrous-like structures, that is called fibrous roots. So in these roots originate from the base of the stem. In these roots originate from the base of the stem. This is a stem, and this is a base part of the stem, and will be developed several air-like or fibrous-like structures of roots, that is fibrous roots. Okay, now fibrous roots are seen in majority of the monocotyledons such as rice, wheat, maize, sugarcane. In this fibrous root system, the primary root is short-lived and is replaced by number of larger roots. So in the number of larger roots to be appeared air-like structure or fibrous-like structure, and in these roots originate from the base of the stem. In these roots originate from the base of the stem, that is called fibrous roots. Next, coming to third one, advantageous root system. So advantageous root system are seen in some of the dicotyledon plants and in some of the monocotyledon plants. Some of the dicotyledon plants are here, monstera and banyan tree. Some of the monocotyledon plants are here, maize and sugarcane. Maize and sugarcane. Dear students, in taproot system and in fibrous root system, both are developed radical. Both are developed radical. But here in advantageous root system are developed in a part of the plant body. In a part of the plant body, especially to be developed node part of the plant body. Node part of the plant body. So without developed radical, these roots are not developed radical. Only developed parts of the plant body, that is called advantageous roots. Advantageous roots are seen in some of the dicotyledons such as monstera and banyan tree, and some of the monocotyledons, that is maize and sugarcane. What is meaning of advantageous roots? In generally, the taproot system and fibrous root system are developed in the radical of the embryo, but here these types of roots are developed in parts of the plant body, in parts of the plant body without radical. Without radical, that is called advantageous roots. What are the uses of advantageous roots? So in this advantageous roots are always helping providing a mechanical support. In always helping providing a mechanical support, especially monstera, banyan tree, maize and sugarcane. But here in this taproot system and fibrous root system is always to be helping in absorption of water and mineral nutrients from the soil, and anchoring of the mechanical support, and storing of food materials, and sometimes to be synthesis of plant growth regulators. These are the functions of root systems. These are the functions of root systems. Root systems are of mainly three types. First one, taproot system. Second one, fibrous root system. Third one, advantageous root system. Taproot system are seen in majority of the dicotyledon plants, especially neem tree, banyan tree, and fibrous root system are seen in majority of the monocotyledon plants, especially rice, wheat, maize, and sugarcane. But here in advantageous root system are also seen in some of the dicotyledons such as monstera and banyan tree, and some of the monocotyledon plants such as maize and sugarcane. Maize and sugarcane. What are the functions of root systems? In generally, the taproot system and fibrous root system is always helping in to be absorption of water and mineral nutrients from the soil. Then after to be supply water and mineral nutrients from part of the all plant body. So second function are here. So in this root system is always anchoring of the plant parts, anchoring of the plant parts or supporting of the plant parts. Third function are here is always roots. Some of the taproots, some of the fibrous roots, some of the advantageous roots is also to be stored of the fruit materials in future purpose. That is called storage roots. And fourth function are here. So in this root system is always synthesis of some plant growth regulators. Synthesis of some plant growth regulators. These are the functions in root systems. These are the functions in root systems. This is a type of root systems and functions of root systems. Functions of root systems. Okay, now thank you.